Welcome to Premier League Gameweek 23 recap, where Arsenal scored a last-minute winner to end their 3-game winners run. Bottom of the league Southampton beat Chelsea, Man City drew to Nottingham Forest, and much more which we cover in this video. First off, Aston Villa played Arsenal and lost 4-2. Aston Villa took an early lead in this match, with Ollie Watkins slotting the ball past Ramsdale 5 minutes in. This was not the start Arsenal were looking for, and a match they needed to win to make up for their 3-game winners run. However, they didn't remain a goal down for long thanks to a great strike by Bukayo Saka 11 minutes later. More sloppy defended by Arsenal, however, led to continue making it 2-1 to Villa later on in the first half, requiring Arsenal to step up their game big time in the second half if they want to come away with the 3 points. And that's exactly what Arsenal did, with their second half performance being full of energy and completely contrasting what was a pretty dire first half performance. It was Zinchenko who equalised the game for Arsenal, with the Ukrainian firing the ball into the bottom corner to get his first ever goal in the Premier League, and what a time it was to score it. Arsenal had a few big chances after this but squandered them, and it seemed like the excellent second half shown wasn't going to result in the 3 points. But then in the 93rd minute, Jorginho's rocket of a shot bounced off the crossbar and then off Martinez into the goal, effectively winning Arsenal the match. Villa were ordered a late corner after this, which their entire team went out for, and this allowed Fabio Vieira to break away with the ball and pass it to Martinelli, who was left with the ball at his feet and an open goal in front of him, enabling him to score the easiest goal of his career to make it 4-2 and cap off one of Arsenal's most dramatic matches of the season. Brentford faced Crystal Palace and drew 1-1. Heading into this match, the form of these two teams was completely different, with Crystal Palace being on a 7-game winning streak across all competitions, whilst Brentford were on a 10-match unbeaten run in the league, making Brentford the favourites to come away with the 3 points. However, despite Brentford being largely back to win this match, the chance of winning became slim when Eze had an instant impact off the bench by scoring to break the deadlock in the 69th minute. This put Palace a goal up in what had been a relatively tight match up until this point, and with the few chances Brentford had not being that clear cut, it seemed like there was a good chance Palace would finally end their winning streak against one of their London rivals. However, disaster struck for Palace in the dying moments of the game, and so just a few seconds left until the final whistle, Janelle headed the ball into the back of the net to salvage a point for Brentford and keep their unbeaten streak alive. Brighton were up against Fulham and lost 1-0. With both of these teams pushing for European football and being level points going into this game, it seemed like they were about to go toe-to-toe across 90 minutes, but in actuality, Brighton dominated this match despite the loss. Fulham rarely got the ball out of their half, and Brighton had 2 goals disallowed for offside as well as 7 shots on target, but Bernd Leno put in a heroic performance once again for Fulham and saved all 7 of these shots to keep his side in the game. With Leno denying Brighton time and time again, it seemed like this match was headed towards a 0-0 draw, which would have been very frustrating for Brighton given their dominant performance. So you can only imagine just how annoyed they would have been when Solomon ran through and scored at the very end of the match to prevent them taking any points. Fulham on the other hand would be very pleased they were able to pick up a vital 3 points against one of their European football competitors, especially as with the way things were going, there was a good chance they weren't going to get any points. Chelsea came up against Southampton and lost 1-0. Going into this match, Southampton sat at the very bottom of the league with no manager, as they had sacked Nathan Jones a few days prior due to their horrendous form and then being on a 3-game losing streak, so because of this, it seemed like this was the perfect match for Chelsea to turn around their form and get back to winning ways. However, that just isn't what happened, and Chelsea have added yet another loss to their catalogue, with them now having just 2 wins in their last 14 matches across all competitions, which is genuinely abysmal considering they spent £600 million within the past year. The goal that lost in the match came right before half time, with James Ward-Prowse culling in the free kicks, making 1-0. This was Ward-Prowse's 17th goal directly from a free kick in the Premier League, with him now being just 1 free kick goal away from equaling Beckham's records. Chelsea had a few chances to equalise the game in the second half, but failed to do so, and after this result, it seems like the majority of their fan base has lost all hope in Potter. Everton played Leeds and beat them 1-0. This was a must-win match for both teams, with Everton being in the relegation zone going into it, and Leeds being just a point above the relegation zone, and in the end, it was Everton who rose to the occasion and secured the 3 points. It was club captain Seamus Coleman who scored the one and only goal in this match, with the defender scoring a great goal from a tight angle to make it 1-0 to Everton. From here, it was fairly easy for Everton to maintain the lead, with Leeds failing to register a single shot on target this entire match, seeing Leeds slip into the relegation zone whilst Everton climbed out of it. This win against Leeds means Everton have now won 2 out of the 3 matches they played under Dyche, which is a big improvement on their form under Lampard, and it looks like they'll be able to avoid relegation this season. Nottingham Forest up against Man City and drew 1-1. The last time these two teams faced, Man City smashed Forest 6-0, but this time around, Forest and their new goalkeeper Keylor Navas so to prevent City from scoring multiple goals despite them dominating Forest. Man City's only goal came in the 41st minute, with Bernardo Silva scoring a 20-yard screamer to put the reigning Premier League champions a goal up at the break. A win against Forest would have seen City stay at the top of the league on goal difference, so they would have been determined to stay in front, and in the second half they had an abundance of big chances, which should have seen them increase their leads. However, Man City failed to make the most out of these chances, and were punished for this in the 84th minute when Chris Wood tapped the ball in close range to make his first goal for Nottingham Forest a very impactful one. This made it 1-1, and the scoreline remained this way until the final whistle, seeing Arsenal reclaim their spot at the top of the league due to Man City's failure to pick up all 3 points. Wolves came up against Bournemouth and lost 1-0. Bournemouth hadn't won a game in 7 matches heading into this and only scored twice during that run, so a win against Wolves was desperately needed for their confidence. Unfortunately for them, they did manage to secure the 3 points, albeit by fine margins. The only goal of the match was scored by Marcus Tavernier soon into the second half, and from here, Bournemouth were able to keep Wolves quiet, maintaining the 1-0 scoreline and seeing Bournemouth rise out of the relegation zone and go 2 points by Wolves. This would have been a frustrating result for Wolves, as they were the second most informed team in the league over the past 4 matches going into this game, so they would have expected to be a Bournemouth side to win and won a game since Gary O'Neill was appointed as their permanent manager back in November. Newcastle faced Liverpool and lost 2-0. This was Newcastle's second loss in the league this season, with both of these losses being to the hands of Liverpool. The 2 goals Liverpool scored came early on, with Darwin Núñez scoring his first Premier League goal since November 10 minutes in, followed up by Cody Gakpo getting on the score sheet soon after. This put Newcastle 2-0 down in just 17 minutes, and things went from bad to worse for them right out of the second goal as Nick Pope set off for a handball to put them down to 10 men. Now thankfully for Newcastle, this red card didn't end up in a scoreline getting out of hand as Liverpool only scored against 10-man Newcastle. However, it does have implications for the next match, which just so happens to be their biggest game in years as Pope will now be out of the Carabao Cup final vs Man United. This means Newcastle may have to play former Liverpool goalkeeper Karius in the final, someone who hasn't played a professional game in over 2 years and is notorious for his mistake-ridden performance in the 2018 Champions League final. Man United came up against Leicester City and beat them 3-0. Marcus Rashford is one of the most informed players in the world right now, continuing to score and streak in this game, with the 25-year-old getting United's first 2 goals in this match. This has taken his goal tally to 17 goals in 18 matches since the end of the World Cup, which is more than any other player in Europe's top 5 leagues, and his goals in this match played a vital role in United picking up the 3 points. Jadon Sancho also hasn't been in bad form since his return to Man United squad, got their 3rd goal just over the hour mark to wrap up the game, seeing United go 5 points behind Arsenal in first. Finally, Spurs played West Ham and beat them 2-0. Tottenham were the more dominant team across 90 minutes, however it took a while for them to break with the lock, as it wasn't until the second half when Emerson Royal stole the ball past Fabianski to make it 1-0 to Tottenham in this London derby. With West Ham being in relegation zone and playing pretty poorly in this match, it didn't seem like so much of a chance of coming back, and the same chance they did have was wiped away in the 72nd minute when Son scored to increase Tottenham's lead. The 3 points Tottenham picked up in this match has seen them rise into the top 4, climbing above Newcastle, whose form as of late hasn't been the greatest. Anyway, that's Premier League Gameweek 23 recap. If you made it this far, enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and must share, comment your opinions on any of the matches having this game week. With that being said, have a good one guys. See ya.